To astrology with Helios,
And Artemis, kind of.
and we're going to be talking to you guys today about a couple things that have been going on lately with the Grand Cross and a bunch of stuff that's going to be happening. This is going to be some kind of a teaser for what we're going to be starting to bring to you guys to try and make it so you guys can see our beautiful faces all the time and get more humor, not just all these empty words we keep giving you. I mean, yeah, they're great, but come on. You guys want to know a little bit more, don't you? Don't you? I think you do.
A little bit. Fully exposed here. So, what we're going to be doing is Helios will be discussing, as per usual, the astrological significance of the Grand Cross, and I'm actually going to be live pulling cards for each of the planets as we go through them.
And it's because I can't really do the car stuff, and I'm better in the
He's
ass.
tried.
So, that's what we're going to do. Alright, so we're not actually going to be drunk this time because I actually have a big job to get to. So, I mean, I might take a shot or two, but other than that, it's going to be pretty sober.
Sober astrology.
Sober astrology. Right, exactly. So, who are the players in the Grand Cross? What is going on with it? The Grand Cross is when there are four or more planets that are squaring each other, which is like 90 degrees. It's an aspect that gets a lot of friction and promotes growth, but it's not exactly pleasant to do. So the players right now are the Sun, Mercury, and Venus, who are all still in Gemini. There's Jupiter, who's in Virgo, and Saturn, who is in Sagittarius. Neptune is in Pisces, and Chiron's also in Pisces, but we're not going to talk about him today because he deserves his own special thing.
Special.
Now, the square of Jupiter and Saturn is going to be the one that causes the most tension. And that's going to be exact on the 17th, which is going to be kind of a big day. Because that's the day that Venus goes into Gemini, or Cancer. What?
They kind of hate each other in general, don't they, those two planets? It doesn't sound very nice. Just saying.
Father-son issues that we kind
One of them eats his children, the other one fucks everything in sight.
What now?
Said one of them eats his children, the other one fucks everything in sight. Like,
Yeah. Voracious appetites, both of them.
that's what's true about them, isn't it? That they're both like,
They were
never
obsessed.
fucking full.
So, since they're all immutable signs, they're all going to be kind of challenging us on a mental level. All the mutable signs are very mental. They all want change. They don't want things to stay the same. They don't really want to start anything. They want things to kind of break apart. And so, with all these energies together, it's not really going to stand for too much longer. Now, this is kind of huge because for a while we had the Grand Cross and Cardinal signs, which have been all starting stuff, epic sweeping changes, Michael Bay films. That's been the Cardinal signs. And in Mutable, it's more like an indie art house film that's subtitled and in a foreign language.
Oh man.
So,
Sounds pleasant. So who's our key player in the whole thing? Who should we pull for first?
the key well, most of the energies are in Gemini right now, so I would say pull for those three bastards.
Those three bastards. All right, let's pull for the sun, I guess.
Two bastards and a bitch.
Two bastards. All right. So let's see.
Wait, dude, I'm gonna grab a shot real quick.
In our first card for the sun, we have the Eight of Wands, Helios. I don't know if you guys can see it, but it's the Eight of Wands. The Eight of Wands is all about, like, expediency and messages and shit pummeling you and, like, things trying to get through. And I've been talking about, like, anytime people have been mentioning this Grand Cross, I've essentially been saying that it's a time to receive a fucking, like, finalization, like the word for something. There's like a...
messages are part of Gemini already.
That's also true. It is in Gemini, so it makes a lot of sense. We've got the this card is kind of interesting. In this deck. It's William Gibson, who apparently wrote Neuromancer. he's the representative of this card. He also wrote Mona Lisa Overdrive. I'm not sure if you're familiar with any of these, Helios, but
I'm not.
No.
I think I actually wrote Mona Lisa Overdrive, but I have no idea what it is.
Well, he's just he's a big part. He was a big part of the Canadian counterculture in the 1968s. He wrote about like virtual environments and visual cyberspace and all this weird shit. Yeah, he's
the decade of 1968.
1980s. Yeah, but like he was like really concerned about the effect of computer networks in human beings, which is kind of interesting because we're kind of entering this like brave new world now where in politics are being driven by the internet, by social media, by somebody putting a message out there and then it just fucking flies and everybody hears it. And so I think this is a great time for people to start getting their messages out there, but also be aware that, you know, it's so fucking easy to disturb the culture and change the zeitgeist right now. It's just like, I don't know, everything, as you were saying, everything is so mutable and everything is so changey. Everything is like, I don't know. It's strange times. It's my age of weirdness. I know, us Aquarians are like fucking aliens.
Aquarian age of Aquarius, bro.
Yeah.
I hate that term so much.
Do you?
So dumb.
Do you?
Yeah, I cannot stand it.
Not a believer in the age of Aquarius? This is the dawning of the age. So
I hate it because that gets in the whole terms of progress and the precession of the equinoxes.
Oh yeah.
And that's just, it's tiring. And then you deal with Fucus and Cetus, Sextans, all the Orion, all the academic zodiac. It makes me want to drink.
Keep drinking. Because we're about to pull for the moon.
Speaking of which, to anyone curious, I am drinking Patron Incendio, a favorite of Helios and Artemis all the time. It's great. It's like a chili cocoa tequila. It's fantastic, which probably might not be the best thing to drink for work, but who cares?
We're actually both going to work in about a half an hour.
Right.
So for the moon, I pulled the 9 of Swords.
And what's that mean?
How do? Tell, please, Artemis. It means... Much tell, please. It's essentially... Okay, so in the card, in the traditional depiction of this card, it's a person sitting up in bed after having a, like, really horrible nightmare. And in this deck that I'm using, it's the social engagement of social science, which is, and then it represents the medical psychology, the Institute of Medical Psychology. And let's see here, evaluation, action, research. This is a very interesting deck. By the way, I'm using Hexen 2.0, which is a deck written by a woman who has an alter ego that's a time traveler. So
that's the kind of day we're having. All right.
That's the kind of day we're having here. Okay, so the moon is aspecting, what is it squaring right now? What planets are squaring it?
The moon?
Yeah, nothing's squaring it.
Not part of the Cardinals.
It's just sitting outside, kind of observing shit.
You're pulling for?
No, I was pulling for the moon. I pull in order. I'm sorry. My order is sun, moon, and then I arrange it depending on how you talk about it. I don't know. This is how I do things.
The moon, she's so ephemeral. 2.5 days. Come on. Okay,
2.5 days.
We'll say she's the background of everything. She's the zeitgeist.
All right. Well, then for Venus, I pulled the star.
Ooh, I like that one. I know that one.
You know that one. Okay, so we can both talk about this one. Well, the star is represented by Aquarius, and stop rolling your eyes. So it's represented by Aquarius, and in this, it's actually quantum computing and artificial intelligence,
Fun.
which is really fun. Yeah, and sitting alongside the other card, which represents fucking virtual reality and our living in it. It's kind of like a weird combination. Let me think about it. Well, it's squaring Jupiter, so it's squaring our joy. It's squaring our two planets of fortune are squaring each other in mutable signs.
The benefics, and they're both Mercury signs too. Mm-hmm. Mercury ruled Virgo and Gemini are both ruled by Mercury.
Yeah, they are both ruled by Mercury, but Jupiter is also in the trine, which is supposed to be helping out. So we've got this big box in the sky right now. Well, it's kind of still there, and then we have this big triangle like in the middle of it. So it kind of looks like a big door with like a ladder coming through it. And Jupiter is like in charge of the box. I don't know. There's
want to do.
Huh?
I said as he's want to do.
As he's want to do. He tends to be in charge of things. Yeah, that's what he wants to do. He's putting his fingers in everything. But with the star, I mean, the star is all about like healing and like hope and like that little glimmer, even though everything's like looking like shit and you can't really like see through the fucking forest. It just tells you that like there's a way out, and there's a way to change things and a way to like progress things. I don't know, it's pretty optimistic. Like
knowledge of the star, I always was under the impression it was like your highest ideals, your best kind of hopeful goodness.
Yeah. It's like that little bit that keeps us going. And that's what I'm getting for Venus. So maybe like as we've been talking about in a lot of our writings, like get in touch with your tribe and like hold on to your people and like stop being shitty to each other. Like
Truth.
we're just constantly shitty with each other. But anyway, we need to speed this up because
we all want different things. And Venus is all about desire, what we actually want.
yeah.
And we can't let what we want get in the way of who we care about.
That's true. And speaking of which, we have the Three of Cups that I just pulled for Jupiter, which is all about enjoyment with your friends and getting drunk and having good times and like melding of ideas. Like, when people come together to have fun and to relax, ideas like naturally start to meld. So
and that's a big tenet of Cancer season as we move into it. It's all about like getting together with your family, your loved ones, your group, trying to come together and have fun and forget the fact that everything is shit outside.
yeah, essentially, right?
Barbecues, fireworks. That's all Cancer. It's great. All in America anyway.
Cancer is a very, very American. What is it? Isn't America's sun in Cancer? Like the actual chart?
Cancer.
Yeah, because we were July 4th,
Cancer,
right? Yeah.
Sun, Aqua, Moon, if I remember correctly.
Sagittarius rising, if you go Liz Green route, which I do believe because it's very cowboyish.
Yes, you know about your incredible heart-on for Liz Green.
I have such an incredible heart-on for Liz Green.
I thought you were just going to end that conversation.
That's all that needs to be said. And okay, so what planet is next? What do we want to talk about next? We've got 3 more planets in the crowd. Saturn, that old bastard. Of course, he comes out as the fucking king of motherfucking pentacles. You know this guy. You've been pulling this guy lately. He's like the businessman in charge of everything. In this, he's economic cybernetics, feedback loops of financial capital. It's like he's game theory in this. risk management, statistics, logistics. Wow. Monitored and monitored and regulated internet.
And we just had a vote on net neutrality, and it came in favor of net neutrality.
It came in favor of net neutrality. Look at that. That's pretty fucking cool.
Yesterday.
Yeah, so there's a lot that's changing with like abstract labor in our society right now, and like this is all about like fictitious values and like fictitious capital. Like we're actually building economies out of like thought bubbles right now. It's pretty fucking crazy.
I can talk for the entire rest of this video about quantitative easing and how there's all of capital right now is basically liquid and nothing matters.
Yeah. No, it's insane.
Economics.
It's insane. We're like making this simulated economy right now. Like even obviously our dollar bills, you can't even exchange them for silver anymore. They're not really like no.
Standard that's based on it's all on models and equations and algorithms.
Yeah, it's pretty fucking crazy. So Saturn being, what sign is Saturn in? Saturn being like in Sagittarius, right? Meaning my Saturn return is coming up fast.
Yeah, old lady. Mine's not far after yours, at the end of Cap.
Yeah, this is true.
So,
Couple years. Mine is right around the fucking corner, getting ready to like sledgehammer me in the face. And
old maid.
Yes. Yes, old maid. But being in Sagittarius, he represents like religious institutions, right? And like higher.
It's like the way I see it is strict adherence to a dogma, and that can be anything. Shut up, birds. It can be any school of thought, and you just cannot question it. It is dogma. It is right. It is orthodox.
Well, that makes a lot of sense considering the fucking bullshit that's been going on lately in the United States. In fact, I mean, we just had the fucking shooting in Orlando.
Okay, I was gonna say, are you just gonna talk about the election right now? Because
no,
I know you can go on for hours about that.
No. The election. If you want me to talk about the fucking election, I could go on for hours, but.
Well, Neptune's coming. I'm saving it for that.
Because obviously this fucking Grand Cross is a portal for the reptilian demon Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump to come out of. Obviously that's exactly what it is, right? That's it was the collapse of fucking civilization. But let's talk about something else.
Let's not go into reptilians on our first go. We don't want to lose our entire audience on our first go.
I digress.
Yes, you do.
So being in the I don't know. I think I've been like constantly fucking pulling King of Pentacles for Saturn. And King of Pentacles is like he's like the Capricornian personality of the Tarot. So like being in Sagittarius, it's like this push and this pull. It's like people want their established ideals on the planet, but Sagittarius wants change. So I don't. There's going to be a lot of turmoil. There's going to be a lot of battling right now of ideals, and people are not going to relinquish.
How the best to create those ideals, while including all the details, going back to Jupiter and Virgo.
Yeah,
since those two are squaring.
That's true. They are squaring.
They all want the same thing at the end of the day.
We do all want the same thing at the end of the day, guys.
The details, the fine nature of it.
Yeah. Some of you just have way too much concern over bathrooms. And so what's our next planet? We've got Neptune, right?
Neptune.
For Neptune, I pulled the Empress, which in this card is all the it's all the secret service organizations around the world, like the CIA, M16, freaking G2, FBI, SSS.
Neptune, Pisces, and secrets. What a shocker.
What a fucking motherfucking shocker. Yeah, no, it's I think that what we need to realize is that there's a lot more going on behind the scenes than we know. A lot. And it's been going on for a really fucking long time, and it's been established. I mean, the Empress is all about like she's Venus. She's about establishment. She's got her fortune. She's got like, I don't know. She's a pretty motherfucking established person. This is a fucking mind warp of a card. Because usually I would assume the High Priestess. I would personally assume the High Priestess would have all of these things on her because she's the secret keeping like asshole of the tarot. But the Empress is usually about bounty and like getting pregnant and shit. She's like about the arts and about like things coming into fruition and things about to be born and like the feminine like, you know, sexiness. That's the Empress. Strange. I'm gonna pull another one for that one. Queen of Wands.
Pull for background players now. So these are the people who aren't involved in the Grand Cross itself.
Yeah.
But people who are still we need to talk about. So
Who
let's start with Mars in Scorpio.
Mars in fucking Scorpio.
I love Mars. I really freaking do.
Of course you do. Fucking.
Mars is like.
He walks around scantily clad.
The one I always go to.
With like rippling muscles. Like.
I mean, I'm a very masculine kind of dude. I'm not a submissive kind of. When we're kind of like, oh, look at the magician.
The magician.
Look at that. Isn't that fun?
Yeah. So, he's getting shit done.
As Mars want to do.
Yeah, and in Scorpio, he's already all about the occult and like the magic-y side of reality anyway, and manifestations, and sort of like using your tools. I don't know. In this, he's Timothy Leary, who, you know, Timothy Leary fucking like gave a bunch of kids mushrooms and sent them to church without them knowing they were on mushrooms so they could have a religious experience and he could record it. The guy doesn't give a shit. He just cares about the experiment, and that's kind of like Mars. He doesn't really give a shit what you want. He's just gonna throw you in there, and you're gonna learn how to use your tools, or you're gonna drown, or I don't know. Like, he's forcing us to like come to terms with our anger and our lack of fucking drive, and all the like.
That's because he's still retrograde right now. He hasn't gone direct yet.
Not yet.
But he is giving us the drive. He's in the face of all of the chaos of the mutable meltdown, as we like to call it around here. He wants us to push towards things that matter. He wants substance. Scorpio always does. And he wants us to start talking about things that, in the face of all this bullshit and misconstrued, false reality stuff, he wants us to talk about things that actually are real, things that do matter. That's Mars. Right now, anyway. Once we get to the saga, we'll talk.
And he's making everybody aggro as shit. But, you know, whatevs.
What?
He's making everybody
what else next?
aggressive. And next.
Uranus conjunct Venus.
Oh,
Eris.
boy.
Our favorite around here.
Oh, boy. It's my daddy. It's my ruler of my chart. And he's conjunct Eris. A lot of changes going on. A lot of change. I mean, like, literally everything is talking about change. The mutable, like, crisis is all about change. Uranus, the planet of motherfucking change, like, is involved with Eris right now. It's just, all these fucking planets going into retrograde all at the same time. 9 of Cups, which is the wish card. It's also the card where you kind of get into a little bit of excessiveness. In this card, it's Rousseau, who did the social contract. and wrote Confessions, and he said, "Man was born free. He is everywhere in chains. One man thinks himself the master of others, but remains more of a slave than they."
So is it kind of pushing us, saying we want too much too quickly, all at the same time?
Yeah, we do. Social contract is all about trying to get to a point where you compromise with other people so that you can live, pretty much peacefully and pretty much get what you need. The problem is, society right now, you're honest, the planet of change and progression, shit is changing really fucking fast. And we can't keep up with our methods, with the way that we structure society. We can't keep up right now. People are not going to get what they need.
How much change and how much stuff has happened in the last year, the last 5 years, the last decade.
Yeah.
Since I've been born, which is it's about 2 decades. And we're talking about quantum computers. We have detected gravitational waves. We have autonomous self-driving cars. We have...
Yep. We have virtual reality that's about to be in everybody's freaking living room soon.
It's insane where we're at right now, and it's only getting faster every day.
Yep.
One more, actually 2 more. Pluto in Cap, who is squaring Uranus, Eris.
Awesome.
Pushing
One final thing before I pull for that. Nine of Cups comes with a warning, like you might to not overdo things, to not overdrink, to not get too drunk on things where you like completely lose your...
Yeah. So, I mean, they're going to overdo it.
I got the Hermit, which in this deck is the Unabomber. It is literally the Unabomber in this deck. And the Unabomber isolated himself from society because he was pretty much a technophobe and started sending bombs in the fucking mail.
Fun fact, I share a birthday with him.
Yeah, you do share a birthday with him. Yeah, he's a Gemini.
Also,
and he's from my home state of Illinois. He's currently incarcerated, and he was a mathematician. Damn.
A mathematician and a Luddite? Mm-hmm. A mathematician and a Luddite? What, did he use an abacus?
I guess so. It's kind of interesting, isn't it? Well, we do know that Pluto is trying to isolate the shit out of all of us right now. He's still in retrograde.
Is he? No, I don't think he's in retrograde.
No?
He's still in retrograde.
Yeah, he's still in retrograde.
For those of you who don't know, this is how I do astro. With a book.
The real way, the legit way. So, I've only got about another minute, so quick thoughts on Pluto. Just in general. So, Pluto, in his position, is squaring which 2 planets right now?
He is squaring Uranus and Eris.
So, essentially, we're gonna be having upheavals against structures of power, and it's gonna be really isolating for everybody right now.
Time for one more?
We got one more. What's it?
Chiron in Pisces. The last background planet. Of course.
Death card, which is John von Neumann, who helped with game theory in the Manhattan Project, and the Macy Conference core group member. And if you guys don't know what the Macy Conferences was, it was a bunch of series of conferences where people who were, different scientists of different fields came together to figure out how to control humans. Look it up. Wikipedia is your best friend. Macy Conferences. I digress again. Death card for Chiron. So lots of emotional changes. Lots of emotional, well, we kind of got a whiff of that one this whole past weekend. Hits you where it fucking hurts. The thing is that Chiron is the wounded healer. So, that's the way to get out of this predicament, is to take, all the pain that we feel and use it to change ourselves and to change the society that we live in. And that is the key to all of this, essentially. Isn't Chiron a little key too? Oh.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
There's also some bullshit about it being a rainbow bridge, and that's with the Aquarian Age. Don't go towards it.
The Aquarian Age. Anyway, so that was our first hodgepodge episode of Drunk Sober Astrology.
So, drink them if you got them.
Drink them if you got them. Have a good day, everybody.